in a row. Jeff Cross, Greg Small, and Erica Parker are the officials. The Bulldogs with the opening tap. Katie Dinnebeer, the point guard, gets it on top to Anna Miller, who lobs down low for Maggie Bair. And the Bulldogs, who like to run that play to get things started, do it to perfection.
High percentage shot, a little high-low action, gets everybody excited to start the game.
This is going to be a really good matchup. Anaya Thomas and Katie Dinnebeer, and it's Thomas getting the first shot for the Lady Bears, and it's Dinnebeer running down the rebound. Bair from the top pitches it off to Sarah Beth Gildner, and she misses fires on the three. Let's take a look at the Missouri State lineup, and they've got a couple of newcomers in there. We mentioned Anaya Thomas from Kansas and Kennedy Taylor, a transfer from Colorado. In addition, India Green was at Moberly Community College last year. A couple of misses by Missouri State, but we just saw something they do very well, Molly, and that is offensive rebounding.
Yeah, you saw Taylor there trying to get in position for the offensive rebound. They lead the MVC at 16 offensive rebounds a game. That's sixth in the NCAA.
Points in the paint, always an emphasis for the Bulldogs, and the first 4 points of the ballgame have been in the paint to Miller and Bair. This is India Green, the transfer from Moberly Community Junior College in Missouri. It's a local product from Springfield. She pitches it out to Sydney Wilson, who's the only experienced player on the roster, really, at least among the starters. Paige Rocca also played last year, but didn't get so many experiences as did Wilson.
Career start for the Bulldogs.
Maggie Bair, graduating senior. Sarah Beth Gildner, graduating senior. They'll have senior day activities here on Saturday. Grace Berg swings it on top as the Bulldogs spread it out against the Missouri State defense. Again, they get it inside. This time it is Grace Berg to score. Wow. So the Bulldogs looking to the paint, and 3 different players have scored.
Berg getting crafty, and they're able to finish with some contact.
A 6-0 start for Drake. Paige Rocca, who played at Iowa City High School, handling the basketball. Kicked out to Rocca. She'll fire a 3 ball. It won't go. And Missouri State has missed their first 6 shots. Dinnebeer comes up the court.
Drake did not lead the last time these two teams played.
That has changed quickly in the first foul of the ball game. They do. So Drake has jumped to an 8-0 advantage. This ball game barely 2.5 minutes old. And out of the backcourt comes Anaya Thomas. And a takeaway almost, as able to save it is Rocca, and it'll be Missouri State basketball.
Yeah, miscommunication there. Masagayo was cutting to the hoop and didn't realize the pass was coming to her.
Masagayo went quickly in the lineup for Beth Cunningham, the first-year head coach for Missouri State. Rocca gives up her dribble, has to hurry. Shot clock goes inside 10. Anaya Thomas on the drive to score the first points of the night for the Lady Bears. Courtney Becker in quickly for the Bulldogs, number 32. The lob down low for Bair on the pass from Berg that won't go, and Thomas comes up with a rebound. Thomas was a 2-guard at Kansas, a point guard just this year in a graduate year situation at Missouri State, but all of her numbers are better than they were at KU, so point guard may be her natural position.
She played 40 minutes. Thomas and Taylor both played 40 minutes last.
The one thing Becker really struggles at is this particular part of her ball game. She's just a 48% free throw shooter, but an offensive rebound by Miller. McCauley, bounce pass, baseline to Miller. And Anna Miller has her second basket and her 6th point. And Drake extends the lead to 12-2.
And that's 5 assists already for the Bulldogs. They only had 12 last time they played Missouri State. That's 12 assists to 23 turnovers.
And Drake, of course, the number 3 team in the country in assists, as they have been all year. Anaya Thomas drives baseline and scores her second basket. She's got both the baskets for the Lady Bears. Beth Cunningham is already up and talking to Greg Small about the last call, and she's doing some pointing and gesturing and acting out what she saw, and she did not like the call. Katie Dinnebeer brings it up for the Bulldogs. She is 17th in the country at 5.5 assists per ball game. Gildner finds Miller. Missouri State man-to-man defense. Do not switch on their screens. They just stick straight up. Here's the lob from McCauley, and off the rim and down it goes on the assist from Bair.
And that's exactly what you do when they don't switch on the screens. You curl that screen and keep heading to the basket.
Well, here's a Drake team that has not used a three-pointer yet. They're scoring in the paint at will against Missouri State. Going for the steal, Sarah Beth Geldner. And they just rule out of bounds.
I gotta think Coach Cunningham wants a little bit more decisiveness from her team. You see those?
Isabel Delarue, number 20, into the lineup for Missouri State. Started the first 8 games of the year, missed the next 10 with a stress fracture. And she's a player that since she's come back from the injury just 2 games ago, tried to bring her back slowly, but as the foul mounted up early, a necessity to bring her in early. And here's another foul. This one called against Kennedy Taylor, time leading scorer, also second in steals and 8th in rebounding. And as somebody who played against her, Molly Nelson, you will testify she was tough. As Anna Miller has 8 first quarter points.
It was like we played against 5 Allison Stars when we played her. She was all over the court. Of course, Allison Star, her maiden name. Of course, now she's Coach Pullman.
Bulldogs had their biggest lead. Drake playing in their matchup zone. Trying to go down the lane is Delarue, and the foul whistled against Drake, and that'll be Gildner with the game's first foul against the Bulldogs. The long feed comes to Delarue. Out of the corner, it's Thomas, and Thomas has got all the points so far for the Lady Bears as she knocks down her 30th three of the season. Drake turnover. Thomas coming the other way, scooping and scoring, and getting fouled. She is something else, Anaya.
She leads the MVC in minutes played per game, so probably won't be resting much. She plays about 35 and a half minutes per game.
And she's just got one of those motors. So the Bulldogs a moment ago opened an 8-point and then a 10-point lead, and now Missouri State cuts into it. Berg misses in the paint. One of the few Bulldog misses up close.
Bulldogs right now 7 of 10 from the field.
Taylor Woodhouse knocks down a 3. Woodhouse, who's not seen a lot of playing time, just 15 threes on the year, and the Lady Bears have come back to within 3. Bair runs down an offensive rebound. Missouri State on a 9-0 run. Miller finds Bair. Bair twists, fires, and scores. Getting around Masagayo.
Nice step through move that time by Bair.
The Bulldogs off to that blazing start, but you knew that Missouri State, a very talented team, would make a quick comeback, and they did.
Well, you know what Coach Cunningham didn't like what she saw at a couple of her starters, went to the bench, and coming in off the bench and hitting some big shots, those Lady Bears.
Ready, the 15th foul in the quarter against Missouri State. So on the next one, the Bulldogs will be shooting free throws. Berg swings it for Gildner. Just over 3 minutes left to play in the quarter as driving the lane. Dennebeer kicks it out, and Gildner can't finish it, and the rebound comes to Becker. Berg makes a move into the paint, spins, looks for help, and then puts it up herself and scores it on the second effort. Bulldogs hitting the offensive glass well.
Out rebounding Missouri State right now, 10-4.
It's a 7-point Drake advantage with 2.5 to play in the first quarter. A moment ago, Drake led by 10. Missouri State cut it to 3, but then the Bulldogs rally for back-to-back baskets. Shot clock is at 8. Open look for Woodhouse. Nope. Offensive rebound with some long arms, pulling it down. Sydney Wilson to score. Wilson, the player of the week, the last time that Drake and UNI faced Missouri State. But the Bulldogs transition well to score.
A quick transition game. That's Drake's best offense when they get it out like that in the open court.
First 2 for Katie Dennebeer. Pass out of bounds off Missouri State as the Bulldogs rebounded. Missouri State 12-5.
And just 2 offensive rebounds for Missouri State, a team that averages 16 of those a game.
Both these teams are 10.5 plus in rebound margin. Second quarter begins. Drake's biggest lead in that first quarter was a dozen. Sydney Wilson brings it on top for Anaya Thomas. Paige Rocca also on the floor. Taylor Woodhouse seeing extended playing time. And also in there is Sydney Wilson. Here's the drive by Kennedy off the glass and down, and Kennedy Taylor has her first basket of the night.
I've been watching Taylor. She's been posting hard. She's been calling for the ball. Takes advantage when she gets it.
She's physical, she has a great motor, and she's dangerous. And Bair is suddenly getting the field from outside because Maggie Bair in the last 2 ball games, 7 of 10 shooting the 3 ball. You add that dimension to her ball game, and she's really hard to stop.
Just so efficient from the field. It doesn't matter if it's 3s or 2s. She makes them.
But again, just lately, she's really had that confidence. Drive by Woodhouse, shovels it inside to Kennedy. And going down low to Kennedy Taylor, going to be a big factor for the Lady Bears because she is dangerous inside.
Yeah, that's a good thing for the Lady Bears when you get Taylor involved.
Maggie Bair, too hard off the glass. Miller with an offensive rebound. Triple team by the Lady Bears. They take it away. Paige Rocca comes up with it for Missouri State. Bulldogs do a good job getting back on defense, so the Lady Bears have to slow it down. Sydney Wilson on top, finds Thomas. This is Rocca paired off with Miller. The 3 ball won't go by Thomas. She'll take a lot of shots, but she's very good from that range. Follows her own shot, misses the layup, and a tie ball is going to be called as Dinnebeer reaches in and ties up Sydney Wilson. Berg and Becker back into the lineup for the Bulldogs. And leaving will be McCauley and Miller. To a quick start, comes in averaging 12, had 6 in the first quarter. Had 14 points, 8 rebounds the last time these two teams met. On that tie ball, Bulldogs with the possession arrow. Berg sets the screen. Dinnebeer pitches in the corner. Bair looking for a 3 ball. The run down by Paige Rocca. Coach Cunningham says Rocca really excited to be returning to her home state for a couple of games this week against Drake and UNI. A lot of people over from Iowa City to watch her play. Her grandparents, by the way, big Drake fans. Or they were anyway. But they still are not. We'll have to check.
That could be their second favorite MVC team.
That's true. With the pitch out for Woodhouse. Tries a crossover. Going for the block. The Bulldogs, and it's big.
To play tonight. Who's here and ready to play? And, of course, back in her home state, Woodhouse showing she's ready.
Absolutely. Woodhouse averages only about 11 minutes a ball game, so seeing considerable action here in the first half. Here's Bair handing on the come around to Dinnebeer, and there's contact. That'll be her second foul, and that is significant for Drake.
Got called on that ball exchange there.
So with 7 minutes left to play in the first half, she has her second foul. That time, Thomas unstopped as she goes to the basket. Bulldogs down quickly. Bair, the trailer, shoots the 3 ball. Her second 3 of the night. And she has a quick 10 points in double figures already.
I like how she followed up that last baseline shot that didn't hit any rim. She actually said sorry after she missed it, which no one's sorry when she shoots if they're a Bulldog fan because she is so efficient.
She has a very vibrant personality. Bair comes up with a rebound. Bair's had 9 double-doubles this year, and that is 4th best in the conference. Grace Buffelli leads the category for the Missouri Valley Conference. The UNI star has 12 double-doubles, and Kennedy Taylor has 10 for Missouri State. Here's Gildner looking for 3. Sarah Beth Gildner cracks the scoring column for the first time, and Drake takes their biggest lead.
Gildner missed her first 3 three-pointers, hit that one. 77% of her shots come from the three-point line.
Coach Pullman will never discourage her from shooting, because if you're a shooter, you know the next one's going to go, right?
Green light.
Rocca finds Thomas in the corner, and McCauley deflects. Ava Hawthorne and Anna Miller come in, and with 2 fouls, Maggie Bair will leave. Courtney Becker also in. He can't finish, but Bair is there for the putback. Maggie Bair headed for her 10th double-double of the year. She already has 12 points, and she has 6 rebounds.
I think Bulldogs are giving Missouri State a taste of their own medicine a little bit with that offensive rebound and putback.
It's a physical Missouri State team, but thus far the Bulldogs have matched that physicality on the boards. Hawthorne lead feed poked away by Wilson. Nice. Taylor McCauley will inbound. McCauley off the bench for 4 thus far today. Tries to get it into Miller, and the ball rejected from her hands by Wilson. So 3:07 to go in the half, 25 seconds on the shot clock as Drake inbounds. Miller once again runs in a circle. This time they get it secondarily to her, and she puts it in. This time they came on top to Hawthorne and then back down to Miller to score.
Miller working hard that entire possession. First wanted it from underneath the hoop, then when it went to the top, kept posting.
She does work hard, and she's extremely strong, has added strength over her freshman year, as a lot of players do. And most of the Bulldogs would tell you she is the strongest Drake player.
After 10 points in the first quarter, that is her first bucket of the second quarter.
Shot clock is at 3. The turnaround by Wilson would have counted had it gone. It did not. But the offensive rebound by the Lady Bears. And there's a pass triggered on the baseline for Wilson, intercepted by Miller. Lead feed Bair. Bair got too far underneath. Pass just a little bit long for her. And Sydney Wilson brings it the other direction. And then she throws to a cutting Taylor Woodhouse. That time Wilson thought she'd stay in the corner. Woodhouse thought she'd cut inside.
Little miscue by the Lady Bears.
And there have been plenty of those in the first half, which is part of the reason Drake leads it by 15. The Drake defense, we've talked about their offense, how good it's been, but the defense has been equally good.
Yeah, they've held the Lady Bulldogs to 35, the Lady Bears, that is, to 35% shooting from the field.
And they forced them into 5 turnovers. Dinnebeer sees an opening. Nobody picked her up, but she slips it down for Bair. Bair too hard off the glass. And India Green, who left the lineup early in the first quarter with 2 fouls, is back in for Missouri State.
Bair did all the hard work. Got open on the backdoor pass, just couldn't finish.
On top, it is Taylor Woodhouse. Woodhouse chased by Gildner. This is Green. Green shoots from just beyond the free throw line. McCauley leaps up trying to get the rebound and can't, but it comes right to Dinnebeer. Trying to take it away from her is Rocca and Page. McCauley slips that pass into Bair, but Green gets in the way of her and actually knocks the pass away and comes up with a steal. Delarue spins into the lane and draws a foul, and Isabel Delarue will go to the line. Foul called on Katie Decker in, McCauley out, Gildner will inbound. Bulldogs move it quickly to Becker at the top of the circle. Becker swings it right from Miller. Lob inside to Gildner. And again, the Bulldogs really executed that play well.
What an offensive set. So here's what happened. Gildner came off of double screens coming in out of bounds. Then she curled up to the top of the key. Wasn't open again, but stayed with it. Because Missouri State doesn't switch, she was able to continue to curl off that screen and get a layup.
Delarue fires and misses, and the rebound comes to Miller. Miller with a big rebounding first half. She already has 5 rebounds to go along with her 12 points. Shot clock is off. Bulldogs play for the last shot. Bair, the lob inside.
Dinnebeer.
He got screened out by referee Greg Small, so thank you for letting me know. Thomas has to hurry. Thomas knows there's no time to get up a shot, and the half comes to an end. And the Bulldogs with a 15-point first half advantage. Allison Pullman has to be delighted with the way her team has executed their game plan.
Yeah, hot shooting and rebounding for the Bulldogs. They talked about it. They know what went wrong last time, and they've definitely made the adjustments.
Drake 43, Missouri State 28 at halftime. And you are Wilson, who's 118 career wins, second best in Missouri State history. She's a 1,000-point scorer, 600 rebounds in her great career. Kennedy Taylor hands on the come around to Roca. This is Thomas with the miss. The rebound tipped over to Berg, and the Bulldogs will come up the court trying for their biggest lead of the night.
I like the look of that offensive set for the Lady Bears. A little more fluidity there, a couple of screens. They're trying to get some more movement on offense.
Green comes up with the tip interception. Wilson around the screen, set by Green. Thomas working against Dinnebeer. On the high post, it is Taylor with 10 seconds on the shot clock. Hands to Thomas. Thomas tries to get around a screen set by Taylor and takes advantage of it. Now a 16-point night for Anaya Thomas, whose season-high 27 against Evansville. She got 28 once when she played at KU against TCU, which is a career best. Roca got a backdoor cut to Thomas, but Thomas had all kinds of company, and it was knocked out of bounds by Miller. Wilson to inbound. Just underway third quarter. Drake leading all the way in this one after scoring the first 8 points. Swiping at it is Beir. Green able to get it back to Thomas, and Thomas with the first 2 baskets for the Lady Bears here in the second half.
Seems like if things break down, win and out, give it to Thomas.
And the Lady Bears are back to an 11 after trailing at the half by 15. Gildner bullets a pass inside to Miller. Did a great job sealing her defender to score.
That's just pretty basketball to watch. They rotate the ball all the way around, swing it to the other side. Nice post that time by Miller.
At the high post, it's Kennedy Taylor, who played last year at Colorado, just got into 8 ball games before transferring to Missouri State, which is a lot closer to home. She grew up in the Kansas City suburb of Shawnee Mission. Beir cuts across the paint. Berg finds Bair. Bair finds 2. 14 for Bair.
That time, the right wing, another nice seal that time by Bair.
And the Bulldogs duplicate their biggest lead at 15. As Paige Rocca, the Iowa City product, gets it off for Thomas. Eva Hawthorne about to come back in for the Bulldogs. Blocked by Bair. Maggie Bair second on the team in blocks.
17 assists already in this ball game off 22 made shots.
And that gives the Bulldogs their biggest lead, up by 16 with 6:10 to go in the third. Rocca takes the pass from Thomas and gets it back. Thomas has really been the major offensive threat for the Lady Bears. Shot clock is at 10. She lobs inside to Taylor, and Taylor has it blocked by Bair. And the Bulldogs try to extend their lead, which is their biggest so far. Bair in the lane to Berg. Berg, couple of fakes, can't get free, but the rebound is taken down by Becker. And then Missouri State has Rocca coming up quickly on the dribble. Rocca around the screen by Masagaya. Masagaya now shows the ball to Berg, now drives the baseline and misses it. And the rebound saved by Becker from going out of bounds. Good job by Becker on the save. Beir quickly the other direction. Beir, hesitation, dribble, and scores.
Wow, what an interesting possession. Just when it looked like Beir was going to dribble it out, reset the offense, and run some clock, she decides to go in for the layup.
Inside the pass, nice pass that time from Thomas to Masagaya.
Masagaya gets her first bucket of the game.
Drake about to make a couple of changes as we go inside 5 minutes in the third quarter. Off the baseline, it's Bair. Maggie Bair with 16 points. And Anna Miller with 18 points. The big scores for the Bulldogs tonight.
Coach Cunningham wondering, how do I stop that high-low game by the Bulldogs?
She was up gesturing at her bench saying, hey, we got to do something, guys. We got to recognize this. Beir collision with Thomas. And a foul is going to be called on Thomas. A little bit of a delayed whistle there, but Anaya Thomas.
Aside from Anaya Thomas, Lady Bears just having trouble finding an offensive flow.
Inbounds feed, fielded by Gildner. Hawthorne hands it right back to her off the side of the backboard, but she chases down her own rebound. Drake has a 28-18 rebound margin over Missouri State. And Thomas committing the foul.
38-33.
And Drake already has a point more than they got in Springfield. They lost that one 64-54. Bair sets the screen. Hawthorne give and go back to Bair. And Bair is fouled by Thomas. Had built the lead to 43-28. Maggie Bair now with 18 points, so she matches Anna Miller's 18 points to lead the Bulldogs in scoring. Just under 4 minutes left in the third quarter. Wilson gets the screen from Masagayo. Delahue back in the ballgame and misses, and once again it's Bair for the rebound, and that is her 8th rebound. Closing in on yet another double-double as she Plays the second to last game here at the Knapp Center, barring postseason play here. Pass in the lane to Miller. Quick kick for Bair. Right back to Miller. Miller right back to Bair. That combination has been working all night long.
I watched the whole possession, not a dribble. We should keep track of this because there was not a dribble in that possession. That is just really fun basketball to watch, and the Bulldogs just execute so beautifully.
And the Bulldogs up their lead to 22. Thomas behind the screen by Masagayo. Rebound by Bair. So Bair now one away from a double-double. Trying to chase it down as Miller can't catch up to it. And it'll be Missouri State, Illinois State, and Belmont. They have won 10 of their last 11, 2 in a row. After starting the conference at 4-3, but then they rallied and had won 10 of 11 prior to struggling tonight so far at Drake. Dinnebeer quickly to Bair. Bair being guarded by Taylor. And out.
The last time these two teams met.
17th in the country in the assist category. Knocks down both free throws. Bulldogs once again up by 22 with 1:40 to play in the third quarter. Raga with a swing pass for Wilson. Wilson down the lane, finds Rocca. Rocca to the paint, puts it up, draws the foul. And Paige Rocca, who is McCauley in for the, I should say Taylor McCauley in for the Bulldogs. And Sarah Beth Gildner will check out. Becker into the offensive end for Berg. Bulldogs really executing well both ends of the floor. We've talked all night about their red-hot shooting. Their execution has just been outstanding. And again, we're not seeing any dribbles, are we?
No dribbles. I'm so fixated on the lack of dribbles. I just love it. It's really fun to watch, and it's really hard to execute. They make it look easy.
They do. Sydney Wilson with the rebound. Rocca trying to move around the screen, set by Green. Final minute, third quarter. Deflection there by Becker, but it's picked up by Green. Shot clock is at 12. From long range, bad shot by Wilson. Comes nowhere close, and it'll be Drake basketball. The Bulldogs looking for their 13th conference win, again after winning 9 last year. Quite an improvement, and if Drake wins, they will go to 18-9 and be 11-2 on their home court. Dinnebeer counting down the time. There's a 7-second differential between the shot clock and the end of the third quarter. At the high post, it's Berg. Now Bair at the high post. Nobody slipping down low. Now Berg goes there. And Bair dribbles it off a sneaker, and the shot clock rolls off. So the shot clock violation gives it to the Lady Bears with 7.1 to play in quarter number 3.
You know what the problem was with that possession? All the dribbles.
All the dribbles.
Dennebeer clearly needed to
right
run some clock.
You're right on top of it.
Just way too many dribbles for the Bulldogs.
Thomas, as McCauley gets knocked down and Thomas misses the shot, and a team that they've lost their last 9 ball games against. 61-41, Drake over Missouri State. You're watching the Valley on ESPN.
¿Crees que la sabiduría es un arma poderosa? Aquí tenemos munición.
Targets are on site.
It's all here, as we discussed.
¿Crees que la sabiduría es un arma poderosa? Aquí tenemos munición de...
Hey, how are you?
I made this.
A ballet studio, an architecture firm, and homemade barbecues.
Cycling was a lifesaver.
2 and 3, and with their next win, she'll tie Carla Bennett for the 2001-2002 single season block record.
That is very talented company. I can tell you firsthand, I had to guard both of those women in practice. It was tough work.
Wow, that would have been. That shot put up and in as we begin the quarter by India Green. Green with her 5th point, and it's a steal by Missouri State as they try to make their way back into this one. Green finds Thomas. Thomas bullets the pass at the free throw line to Green. That's blocked, and the rebound taken by Bair. And a double dribble is called as Dinnebeer tries to bring it out in a hurry. And Missouri State's only been able to capitalize with 11 points off those turnovers.
That's a big difference maker in this game.
See Beth Cunningham, a long night for her ball club. On this her first visit to Des Moines, and this her first year. McCauley tips it, but then tips it out of bounds, and it goes back to the Lady Bears.
McCauley did a good job of disrupting the Missouri State offense.
With this ball game at the 7:44 mark in the first quarter, the Bulldogs had an 8-0 lead. And since then, they just continued to build on it.
Still hot shooting for the Bulldogs at 57% for this game. They started that first quarter and shot 68% from the field.
Rocket gives it up for Thomas. Thomas looks for three. It won't go, and going high for the rebound, Maggie Bair. That is rebound number 10 and number 11, and that gives her yet another double-double. What a senior year she is having, and no doubt will be first team All-Missouri Valley Conference. McCauley for three. Taylor McCauley with her 7th point of the ball game and her 21st three of the season. 21-point Bulldog lead with 8.5 to play. So for Bair, it's now 10 double-doubles this season and 18 double-doubles in her career. Drake foul against Dinnebeer. Number 6 in scoring, number 3 in rebounding, number 1 in field goal percentage, number 5 in block shots, and number 8 in steals. What a season that senior has had.
Pretty impressive numbers.
And by the way, that field goal percentage is one of the tops in the country. Miller loses the basketball to Green. Thomas, quick move into the paint and draws the foul. Valley preseason media conference in Moline, and she's just a delight. She has 19 points tonight. She was very excited about becoming a Lady Bear. Isabel Delarue back into the lineup for Missouri State.
Who wouldn't be excited about joining such a storied MVC program? Final Fours, Sweet 16 appearances. These Lady Bears have done a lot.
Shot clock at 1, and it is beaten by Sarah Beth Gildner. When you're hot, and everything's going right for Drake tonight.
That gets this Bulldog crowd excited.
Gildner with her 2nd three of the ball game, and she now has 63 on the year. Delarue, the left-hander, lets fly. Bair with her 12th rebound. Her career best is 14 rebounds, so she approaches that. Gildner wanted to lob to Bair. Thomas got a hand on it, and it's picked up by Isabel Delarue, the sophomore from St. Charles, Illinois. Delarue goes to the base, can't score. Rebound run down by Miller. Miller with her 8th rebound. McCauley sets and scores. Taylor McCauley, back-to-back threes for her. 70-45 Bulldogs.
McCauley just had 3 points the last time these two teams met. 10 today.
Taylor McCauley really has made herself a valuable asset to this team as a starter at midseason and now coming off the bench. There's Thomas trying to break down Gildner, and she does. She's got a lot of moves, and she gets her 21st point.
In the country at 20 a game, they lead the MVC in their 3rd in Division I.
Dinnebeer with 5 assists to lead the assist category for the Bulldogs, but Berg has 4 and Miller has 4. Hawthorne finds Berg. Berg got off to a quick start in this ball game. 6 points in the first quarter. Hasn't scored since, but she's been very effective in giving the basketball up and getting that high-low working. Shot clock down to 7. Berg, speaking of being effective with the pass to Bair. Now Gildner with 1 on the shot clock, and she draws a foul.
Oh, that's the kind of foul that's going to make Coach Cunningham, well, maybe stomp her feet.
Ball game on Saturday along with Maggie Bair. A 10-point night for Gildner and a 72-47 advantage for the Bulldogs.
4 Bulldogs now in double figures.
That's kind of traditional for Drake, isn't it? Tayden Gray about to make her first appearance in the Bulldog lineup. Green on the miss. Taylor on the rebound. Thomas bottled up by Berg. Brings it back to the outside with 12 seconds on the shot clock. Thomas, you know, to use the expression, she's like the Energizer Bunny. She just keeps going. What a high motor. Kennedy. Taylor underneath scores for Missouri State. After a slow start, she's in double figures with 10. But speaking of slow starts, the Bulldogs with a quick transition.
And that's what the Bulldogs want to do there, get out in the open court.
And they've done it so successfully tonight. An open look that time for Kennedy Taylor. Bulldogs defense left her alone. She's hit back-to-back buckets for the Lady Bears. Bulldogs by 23, attacking the glass, and scoring is Berg. First point since the first quarter for Grace Berg. But again, she's done a lot of other things well, really facilitating this high-low offense.
She becomes the 5th Bulldog now in double figures. Grace Berg now has 10.
Taylor finds Green, and Green connects. All her points, all 7 in the second half. Bulldogs quickly at the other end, not getting the bounce that time. Bair contesting for the rebound, but taken away from her. Taylor Woodhouse, who played briefly in the actually significantly in the first half, seeing her first second half action, and she gets fouled by Ashley Iams.